Oh no, I'm recording this whole Bible study. I'm gonna put it on the website later.
Awesome, that works out. Okay, yeah, but to touch K Pasta, what you were just saying, that's something it is crazy, man. You know, like a lot of people, um, like even Dora was asking these questions, you know, and I would like to know a lot of these things, but I mean, the reality is we're human, we're flawed, and we don't know everything. You know what I mean? I'm glad I don't know. If I knew everything, I'd be God. And newsflash, I'm nowhere close to that. You know what I mean? And like how it just says, where let me look. I think it was right, verse 6 in Hebrews 11. But without faith, it is impossible to please Him, meaning God. For he who comes to God must believe that He is, and He is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. Like just right there, like it is impossible to please God without faith. Impossible. So you know, and that kind of destroys the argument of people, you know, that say, well, I'm a good person because I do all this, I do all this, I do all this. And you know, the harsh reality is you can be a billionaire giving millions and millions and millions of dollars away to charities like Bill Gates, somebody who's doing that, and not know Jesus Christ. And the reality is you don't have salvation. Your works, you know what I mean? It's like it is through faith, you know? And faith is so huge. And I think just the main thing is not to really be discouraged when we do doubt and stuff like that. You know, every single time I doubt, I'm just constantly reminded of how how human I am, you know, and how just sinful at the same time, but just how unconstant I am. My feelings, my motives, my everything is constantly changing daily. You know, it's like, do any of you guys have dogs? It'd be like those dogs, those puppies that just constantly run around, freaking out. You know, 1 minute they're laying down and you yell treat, or they hear their you know, food being poured out, they're sprinting, they're barking, they're jumping, they're doing all these, they're crazy. They're never, you know, they're constantly doing other things. You know, that's us, and we have God, who is this thing that, or this being that's just never changing, man. And it's like, I heard it said before that God's past faithfulness deserves our present trust. And so many times, and that's something that when I heard the first time, it really stuck with me, like really stuck with me. And I mean, it is exactly what it says, you know, like lots of times we feel like we're in this tunnel, it's just dark, we don't even know the way we came in anymore, we're just looking both sides, and it's just dark, and we have no idea how to get out of here, you know, and sometimes we just will slip down to the lifestyle of sin and just kind of, you know, coast, I guess, in that sense. There are sometimes we just don't feel like God is there, you know, but lots of times what we need to do is we need to realize moments in our life when God's presence was really tangible, was really, like, we felt it, and there was nobody that could ever take that moment from us, because we knew at that exact moment that God was in the situation, you know what I mean? And so when we're doubting and we're not feeling that, you look back at those moments. You have to. You look back at those moments and you go, yes, okay, got it. And even if let's just say you don't have any of those moments, we look at the Bible, which is the Word of God, and we see the faith, and we see the faithfulness of God. Just on that alone, He deserves our present trust. He deserves it, you know?
Well, the funny thing is, I always hear, I'll be honest, that Southern Baptist Church that I came from, Mark, and I'm from, such things as, well, miraculous things don't happen as often as you think. And I sit there and I think about it. I go, you mean people aren't being saved? Because, I mean, when we count, we know our faith, see where our faith is leading us. We have to look at the miraculous work that God's done. Each one of us is a work, and He who has begun a work in you will finish it. So every time we're discouraged, every time we're depressed about I sinned again, we have to look at the fact that we're not completed. We're not going to be completed until as it says, currently we see through the glass darkly, and someday we will see face to face. When we see that face to face, we see our Creator in our new body, then we will fully understand, and only then, I believe, we grasp the magnitude of the miracle of salvation.
I said this every single Bible study that we've had, and I'll say it every single Bible study that we'll have, most likely. I forget what his name was. I was at a conference, and this guy was talking about how awesome it's going to be. And I'm sorry, I know this is like a broken record because I legitimately say this all the time. But the pastor was like, how awesome is it going to be, when we finally finished our race and we're up there in heaven and we see all these, like high roller, people from the Bible. We see Paul, and we see Moses, and we see King David, and we see all these people. We're like, oh, hey, like we're all stoked to see him and whatnot. And we go up to Moses, and we go, Moses, how awesome was it? Explain to me how awesome it was when God used you to part the Red Sea. How awesome was that? Like all excited, like we're asking him, like, how amazing was it? And Moses, looks at us and goes, no, how awesome was it for you to have the Spirit living inside you? Lots of times, we just lose sight of what a miracle is. Jeff, I'm really glad that you brought that up. A lot of people like spiritual gifts and all this. Like, I don't see anybody getting raised from the dead. I don't see any, that would be a miracle, being raised from the dead. The blind being able to see, that is a huge miracle. The deaf being able to hear, it's a huge miracle. But I honestly think that the biggest miracle of all is an eternal miracle. Somebody might get shot and his heart stops or something like that, and the doctors go and take him and they revive him, and they're like, it's a miracle, he was legitimately dead and now he's back to life. That is a miracle. But what is even more of a miracle is when somebody is spiritually dead and spiritually gets awakened to life. That right there is just absolute, that's an eternal miracle right there. That's not something, because we're going to die and we're going to get resurrected, we're going to be in heaven at some point. Jeff, I just want to touch on what you said right there, because that's what I thought of at least.
Okay, well, we're getting ready to wind down here, and I would like to let you guys know there's a major prayer request I have, and it is for me. Some of you may have watched the news this morning. Javon Belker committed suicide in the parking lot at Kansas City's Arrowhead Stadium. He was one of their star inside linebackers. And what's sad about it is he killed his girlfriend, who he was intending on marrying. They had a child. And he left his daughter in the care of his mother. What some of you don't know is, David, this affects even your MMA watching, because he was a best friend of Bones Jones. He was a best friend of Arthur Jones. They were childhood friends. And what's worse is the head coach, Romeo Cornell, and their general manager tried to talk him down, and he shot himself right in front of them. This is sending ripples not only through the NFL, but through fan base, professional sports. And those of you who know the article that I was sharing around know that Jones is in a faith-based organization. But pray that the men that are in